the sound of beer. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. I hope everybody is well. Wasn't sure what was going to happen this week. What with one thing or another. I've been on short weeks all summer so far since end of June, which has been lovely. But I was like, I'd better get out and do some astrophotography, but no, not up until this point. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the sky gods will be willing and give me a nice clear sky tomorrow night. Weather's looking pretty good, but yeah, hopefully, because oh god, it's been over a month since I've had a chance to actually sort of grab the scope and take it out and all that kind of stuff. So here's hoping for tomorrow. So we've got at least one new person in today. HM, welcome to the live stream. This is mostly what I do these days. I have quite a catalogue of stuff going back to about 2009, so you've got plenty of stuff to watch, and I still do videos. It's just not so often, just so you know. It's just kind of one of those things. Life gets in the way. It's incredibly busy one way or another, and I have a very time-consuming hobby when the skies are clear. But tonight we're going to be watching Braindead, or Dead Alive. It always slightly annoys me calling it Dead Alive because it's the American title, and I've always known it's Braindead. And I don't know why it bugs me, but it does. But there you go. Sense of good weather here, Glenn. It's pretty cloudy. Yeah, it's been awful, really. I mean, say awful. It's not. You take it in context of what's going on in places like Greece at the moment, and they would be absolutely out partying if it was pissing it down with rain. One of the things with this hobby, and I promise I won't rattle on too long for it, but one of the things about this hobby of doing astrophotography is you have to be a little bit zen about kind of how conditions are, because you can't change nothing. There's just nights that you can't do what you want to do, and some good lessons for life in that, I think. So I've been messing around a whole bunch of old data and stuff like that, but seriously, I just want to get out there and actually do some shooting, get some new data, play with some new stuff. I've got a new filter on the way, so that'll be cool. But yes, we're watching Braindead tonight, which is the second of the Peter Jackson films I ever got to watch. First one being Bad Taste. And I do remember with Bad Taste, there was a lad at school, and he's such a horror fan. He was so enthusiastic. I wish I knew him these days. Love to know what became of him. Such a horror film fan, and he absolutely raved about Bad Taste, and then I ended up getting it on VHS, and I wasn't disappointed. So it was kind of fun. But yeah, what's the other news? I suppose film world. The big thing is the Oppenheimer and the Barbie movies, isn't it? I mean, I'm not really wanting to go to the cinema to watch anything. Oppenheimer, it's kind of what it is. It seems to be more of a biopic than it does, kind of like a history of the making of the bomb and that kind of stuff, from what I've heard. So it seems more of a character study than it is anything else, which is fine. There's plenty of sources to read the story. There's dozens of audiobooks and plenty of films and stuff that were out there that kind of cover that kind of territory. So I will watch out when it comes out on home format, so I'll get it on Blu-ray or something like that. The other one was obviously Barbie, which is, you know what, I have no particular desire to rush out and go and see it, but considering the amount of absolute rage bait that it has caused amongst certain commentators, there are political commentators of a certain brand who are running out looking to be offended by this movie. Ben Shapiro ran out with he says he was dragged along to the cinema to watch it, but he made sure he took an A4 pad of paper because he knew he was going to have lots and lots and lots of complaints to do. And if you go into a film and you're going, oh my god, I am definitely going to, I'm deliberately and absolutely, undeniably going to be offended by this movie. I know I am. I am going to look for that. Then your criticism's probably going to be a little bit out. Um, but it's one of the most infuriating and hilarious things at the same time is watching someone like Ben Shapiro try to break down the movie, and it's clear that he's not a very good critic in the slightest. God, 43 minutes. He rabbited on about that film, and from what I could tell, at least about 95% of it was wrong. Dear. Ben Shapiro defo has a complete Barbie collection. You know what? The mad thing is, it's like with him, because I find him so annoying apart from anything else. He I always have to double check that the YouTube whenever he's been kind of like talked about, they show clips of him. I always have to make sure that the YouTube player's not on like 2 times speed because it sounds like it's really weird. You're not gonna watch it. It has zero interest for me, and it's fair enough. But to be honest, I have to say, like, while I won't exactly go out of my way to see it, if somebody was to put it in front of me and say, do you want to watch it, I'd probably watch it. It actually looks kind of entertaining. There you go. Oh, good Lord. Matt Walsh shut the bed with burning the dolls. I think the poor wee lamb was scared. It's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible. I mean, they for one thing, and I'll say this about the what seems very apparent about the movie. A lot of them are sort of going, well, this is aimed at like 7 or 8 year olds, and it's like, from what I can tell, it clearly isn't. There's a lot of subject matter in there which is much more aimed at someone, women that are kind of like middle aged and that kind of stuff. 25, 30 and above. It's not, from what I can tell, a movie that's actually kind of aimed at a child audience. In fact, I mean, you look at the rating, because that was a big complaint, a big thing about it, wasn't it? Because it's a 12A over here. I think it's PG-13 in America. And from what I understand, it ends up with Barbie realising she has to go to a gynecologist because all of a sudden she's got, shall we say, the bit she's always been missing. And that's fucking hilarious to me. But there you go. But yeah, it's a little bit of a weird one. But getting back to tonight's sort of stuff, one of the things that was shown, kind of one of the links, one of the films that was suggested, I think it was suggested on the last stream or so, was In the Mouth of Madness. Now, the link works for me, but from what I understand, it might not work in America. So I don't know if we can, like, because we do have a couple of viewers, at least a few viewers in America. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. I would love to, because it's actually it's quite an interesting film. Flawed but interesting. But what I'll do, maybe, I'm wondering how the best way to do this is. I would need a couple of US viewers to sort of check out the link, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it here or not. But there you go. Anyway, that's the situation with that one. But maybe another time, because I would like to do that one. It's a strange film. So link is for tonight's one, Braindead, Dead Alive, is in the description below. So if you want to get yourselves ready for that, then we will get cracking in just a little while. Always blows my mind. Ben Shapiro, Myra Wilson, a cousin. Really? Okay, I had no idea. Family get-togethers must be awkward. Yes, they are kind of slightly on the opposite ends of the political spectrum, aren't they? That'd be crazy. Not sure how palatable they'd be to your regulars, but I'd be intrigued to see your take on The Untold Story and Ebola Syndrome. Oh, okay. Both are on Both are on YouTube. Well, I can't remember. Are you on Facebook, Gav? Because if you are, then send us a link on Facebook on either the Ramblaholics or on my page. One of the two. That would be quite interesting to see. But, you know, I mean, the thing is, we don't necessarily have to have absolute horror films, you know, just entire horror films. We do occasionally, obviously, cover stuff which is a little bit in a different genre. That's absolutely fine. Just cult exploitation and horror. So, yeah, I think that might be quite interesting. You've got a couple there. You're going to watch your DVD copy, so maybe faster than you. Okay, that's not a problem. Just so you know. I sound very quiet, do I? Okay, let's... Let me just turn that up a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2. Is that better? I've probably just blown the ears out of anybody who's wearing headphones who are re-watching this at the point. From my... for that, yeah, my apologies. But there you go. That should be a bit better. It's weird, you know. The mic settings kind of just jump around a bit. So it's kind of strange how these things work. This weekend, I spent a bit of time building a computer for my landlord. Hopefully, it'll work a bit better than his old thing. If your DVD is the UK edition, it may run faster, but will have extra scenes. Oh, wow, okay. Kerry's going to be all over the place. Its version on YouTube appears to be the US unrated version, which is missing a few scenes compared to the UK release. Well, I think we'll just have to go with it, won't we? Unless somebody... I'll give somebody a few minutes to see if they can find a link. Mind you, it'd have to go through Kerry, wouldn't it? So... yeah, we'll get started in just a few minutes anyway. It is a UK DVD, Simon. Didn't know it had extra scenes. I didn't know it had extra scenes. Have we actually got the better version, Simon? That's an interesting one. Starting off with Ghost Ship tonight for those playing along at home. Considering I've been on short weeks, it felt very long for some reason. It's very tedious this time of year for me, but yeah. Yep, just message me on Facebook, gang. Yep, so we'll give that a few minutes, and then Kerry can shove that in the chat if anybody can find one. If not, just say in the chat here, nah, don't know, and we will get cracking sooner rather than later, I guess. It's not super hot here at the moment, which is quite nice, but it is still a little bit stuffy. So, yeah, it gets a little uncomfortable. Hopefully we don't get it too bad this year. It seems to be getting hotter and hotter each bloody year. Suggest this version as the quality is pretty awesome for YouTube. Yeah. Oh no, don't apologise. There's no need to apologise. On the hard stuff of orange cordial myself. Hopefully with a little water in there. Just go for the sugar buzz, just drinking cordial straight. Hello, the captain. Trying to think if I got any kind of new DVDs and stuff. I don't think I haven't really picked up much recently. Just trying to catch up with a few, actually. I did start rewatching the Twin Peaks season 3 stuff again, which is pretty cool. I really struggle with watching an entire series these days. My brother's kind of weird like... No, I say weird like that. He's different like that because he'll just consume those things nicely, very quickly and stuff. But, yeah. Just a smidge, Glenn. It is double concentrated. Okay. I'm a friend with a name change. Okay. It's mysterious. I am shit with names, so yeah. So for somebody to come in with a pseudonym and just go, "Guess who I am?" Are you an idiot? It's like, no, I don't know. Yeah. as Kerry was saying, I kind of really wish that the Peter Jackson was kind of doing a lot more of this, at least a little bit of this kind of old school stuff. It would have been quite interesting to do a double bill of this and The Frighteners, but I don't think The Frighteners is on YouTube. Always prefer contained experience over series. I lose interest quickly. Yeah, I tend to put, I'll watch a couple of episodes or whatever and be very kind of enthusiastic about it, but then I'd struggle to come back. I usually forget about it for so long. Always a little bit of a problem. It's a bit of a problem. Maybe it's an ADD thing. I've got no idea. There you go. Right, okay. Well, I'm guessing Kerry hasn't got any kind of responses, so I think, what do you reckon? Do you think we should get going? Give us a thumbs up if you just want to get cracking with this one, and then but I guess we can see try and guess which scenes are missing, or I'm sure Simon will fill us in. Simon is like a human encyclopedia of this stuff. It's as impressive as it is funny. Hello, Kieran. It would be great if Peter Jackson did a 1 million little movie again, just to see if he could. I think he could. Actually, I think he would love it. I honestly think he would love it. I think he would take that challenge and actually kind of... I think it would really invigorate him as a filmmaker. Because doing all those big films, as impressive as some of them are, they're a little bit soulless in comparison. Right, so Kerry's got a thumbs up. Yeah, we've got a couple. Can't find an uncut. No, that's fine. Oh, hang on, Kieran. I can probably find an uncut version of Braindead, probably, if you like. Okay, you've got 4 minutes, Kieran. Go and forward that to Kerry on Facebook. Then Kerry can post the link. So we will get going in 4 minutes, which should be 10 to 9. Rush, rush, rush. It's lovely having minions. Oh dear. So I have been writing on the Invasion of the Body Snatchers series. I'm already 4 pages in. 1 page of it is notes, so 3 pages, strictly speaking, just over 3 pages. Mostly writing about the first one at the moment. Then I'll be going into the second one, and then the Abel Ferreira one, and then the Nicole Kidman, Daniel Craig one. So it's quite a big project, but I'm hoping I've got a little bit of time to... Well, I've got time. It's just actually kind of finding the will and the energy. That's always been the hard thing. I want to do it. So hopefully I'll get through the rest of the first movie's coverage, and then I'll be on to the second one. Second one will be the hardest one because I've already written about it before, but not to reiterate and stuff. One of the things is, as political as the original seemed to be, the second one, I didn't pick up on much of a political kind of aspect. There's fragments of it, but it's not so much. Right. Let's have a look. Aha. So that's the one, is it? Okay, right, okay. The link there for Kerry. Kerry's got set up. That looks like what we're going to go for. That looks reasonable quality as well. So if I take that over and put that into here. Fantastic. So I'll give you a couple of moments to do that. Awesome. Thank you, Kieran. That's absolutely magnificent of you. You're a star. I have lovely, lovely viewers. I really do. You're all stars. Speaking of which, John Rennie's just been doing even more music. He's been very, very creative lately. And I'm just so impressed with him. I'm so impressed with his output. He's doing such a good job. Nope, the 70s is very apolitical. Yeah, it's kind of weird. There's a smidgen of it, but it's not absolutely consistent. But there you go. All right, so give us a thumbs up when you're all good to go with this new link, and then we will get cracking on that one. Yeah, yeah, so I'm kind of enjoying doing the writing on that thing. It's going to be an absolute dog of a job to edit. Um, the times where I wish I had a creative team, I could just do the writing, do the recording, and then let somebody else do the rest of it. But as it's not monetized and all that kind of stuff, it wouldn't feel right, and I'd feel strange about all that kind of stuff. But there you go. Fantastic. Oh, you're always a very useful person to have around, Kieran. Apart from another one of the wonderfully knowledgeable people in the chat. Fantastic. Right, okay, so we'll get started then, folks. And actually bang on time, so well done. Right, we'll start on 5. Count of 5 and start on go. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. God bless her. Rest in peace, Mum. I like it. It's called Waking Up Films. It's I'm kind of curious as to what this location is. I'm assuming it's all in New Zealand, but that's some stream this. I needed. Well, I'm glad it's helping you out a little bit. I love this film so much because it's so much good. This is actually a really good copy as well. What are these buggers playing at? There is a weird echo. What is going on? Let's try that. Sorry, I was getting a bit of an echo. I don't know if anybody else is getting that, but oh, it's not just me then. It's me furiously pushing buttons. Question is, folks, can you live it or do go back to the original link? Yeah, so I mean, I think, well, straw poll. Do you want to live with it or do you want to continue? So thumbs up if you want to continue. This guy's channeling Derek from Braindead. Yes, he is a bit, isn't he? You're fine with it. Excellent. Okay. The bite. This is hardy Kiwis. Dittle in the Jeep. Singaya. Singaya. It is, isn't it? I tell you what, we'll just live with it. I'm wondering if it's a way of trying to fool the copyright bots. You're on mute, okay. It is odd, isn't it? But yeah, I think Kerry's right there. Yeah, no, snap. It's a lovely model shot, isn't it? It's but that was the charm, I think, of Peter Jackson's early stuff. Is it was all kind of physical effects and stuff like that. You know, it was a lot less optical stuff or CG. But I love it. Yes, it looks fake, the plane flying above the clouds, but in a kind of nice way. I love the soundtrack to this as well, actually. It's... No, you haven't screwed up, Kieran. You're fine, mate. It's one of those things. Don't feel bad. It's not a problem. The amount of times I've screwed up on this picked the wrong version or the cut version, or it's a wonderful world of YouTube, isn't it? Still a better film than his god awful King Kong remake. Yes. Bakita's cute. We are currently at 7 minutes 35. Right, okay. Well, Kieran says he's got another version. What we could do is stop in and just pick it up from the other one if you guys want to. So just give us a yeah. You know what? Let's see what this other version is. If Kerry can get the link, and then we'll have a look, and then we'll start it from the 5 minute in mark or something like that. Okay, folks. We've got another version. Let's try that, because that is when they're just doing dialogue, it gets really weird. So Kerry has just put the link in there. Let's have a look. And we'll start at 5 minutes in. There we go. There we go. Thank you, Kieran. Thank you, Kerry. Okay. I must redeem myself. Don't feel bad about it at all. Seriously. You know, it's like here. We're all chilled. It's fuck ups are just one of those things, and we roll with them. We try to enjoy them wherever it happens. So right, okay. So when you get yourself to 5 minutes in, give us a thumbs up, and we'll continue from there. And that will be in the airport scene. So we'll just go back just a tiny bit. I think that'll work. Kerry, remind me to adjust the description at some point to put the better version in. Nah, we don't worry about that. We're not going to worry about that. It's all good. It's all good. So, give us a thumbs up when you're ready, guys. There we go. John is ready. Need two people. Well, for seppuku. We'll have no seppuku. Fantastic. Okay, we've got a couple of people ready. I'm going to assume that everybody is fantastic. All right. Okay, from 5 minutes in, and we'll go on. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. It's a louder version. There we go. Zagaya, there goes the bite. I do love that bit where he falls off the back. It's like kind of little bugger bit me. He's about to chop his arm off and go, there's some Dettol in the truck. This is brilliant. New Zealand accent is just fun. Oh, Simon's dropped behind. Simon, just give us a shout when you want a time code, and we'll get you up to speed. It's all right. No stress. It's Friday evening, and we are watching a dumbass movie. But a goodie. So Simon, just so you're aware, we are at 6 minutes and 20 seconds at this point. No man left behind. It's good to see you. You know, glad it's not a karaoke night for you. Fantastic. Read at the BBFC actually loved this, almost gave it a 15. The BBFC sometimes do take into consideration the comic nature of it. Because one of the interesting examples in censorship history was The Evil Dead, the first one. That James Furman and most of the examiners who were watching it loved it. But there was one of the female examiners who had a real problem with it, mainly for that one infamous scene. But yeah. John Smith said, I live in Glasgow and often asked if I'm from New Zealand due to my accent. I'm from Newcastle. Slight difference. I'd love to spend some time in Glasgow, actually. I did. I popped up there for a job interview one day, but wasn't really hanging around for long. Quite an impressive place, and the countryside around it is amazing. I was actually going to go to karaoke this evening, but wasn't feeling up to it, so decided to stay in with you guys. Oh, it's good to have you anyway. Hope you're not feeling unwell. It is not Roger. Gonna watch the YouTubers version, otherwise I will be too far ahead. Yeah, might be an idea. So, for your edification and information, Kerry, we are currently at 8 minutes and 45 seconds. To say thanks again for streaming tonight. It's always a pleasure. Much appreciated. It's nice. The one advantage, like I say, with my other hobby, when you get a night like this, you've got to chill out and sort of go, no, I'm not going to stress about it. Do something else that you want to do, and it's nice to do these. I prefer the charm of bad taste. Yeah, it is what it is. I think both films are great. I don't think I've got a favourite, to be honest with you. I understand that because Bad Taste does have a sort of naive charm to it, doesn't it? Because it is very rough and ready. Seem to have lost your enthusiasm for everything right now. It can get like that. I know you kind of suffer a little bit with that, don't you, Simon? It'd be trite of me to suggest anything, but we're all around for you, mate, and it is nice to have you in on these streams, and especially when you start chipping in with information about the films. It always tickles me so much if it just rolls off your memory. Oh my god, it's a sign. She's kind of an interesting character in some respects, isn't she? For a female character, she's very assertive, shall we say. That's quite a stunt, that, isn't it? Meet the Feebles is a prime example of bad taste. Part of me is glad that Bad Taste never got any sequels. Wasn't Peter Jackson talking about doing something like that at some point? It doesn't really need a sequel, does it? Any more than this one does. I'd prefer to see him sort of do something in this vein that isn't directly related. I just did a fucking huge knife in her hand. You wish women were this receptive towards you. What you need to do is get some serious hocus pocus going on. Get some cards running in your favour. Bad Taste 2, a nasty taste in the mouth. Oh, foreshadowing. It's a great shot though, isn't it? I don't quite know. I haven't. Have I seen it? I'm trying to think if I've seen the Peter Jackson King Kong. I've never been much of a fan of the kind of films like King Kong, and other than like the, kind of like sometimes the originals have a little bit of a political subtext to them, which is kind of interesting. But the giant monsters thing is a little bit 1950s for me. Which is actually, something I kind of pick up on in the Body Snatchers retrospective. how it sort of signalled a massive change in the who is the monster kind of thing. Oh, Mummy's jealous. I was going to say you're a little bit ahead. She's a gloriously awful character, isn't she? Is a good example of that, because I mean, you didn't want the character to be sympathetic, considering looking at how she ends up. And that's one of the nice things with this is it is absolutely guilt free, and with Bad Taste is absolutely guilt free about the people who tend to suffer in this movie. Anyone else getting some eatable vibes? He's just under the thumb. I never really sort of got any kind of like quite eatable, but I do sort of see where you're coming from. Hopefully not for the same reasons, Kerry. Because I have trauma. It does belt through quite a bit of character setup, doesn't it, really? He's having flashbacks to the time he watched Excalibur. That can happen. Cheeky. Simeon Raticus. I love it, but it's in a sort of dreadful kind of font. Poor little bugger. Lucky it was just an apple, yes. It's kind of what I was thinking. It's not what monkeys tend to throw at you, is it? Right back. Peter Jackson does like his really kind of heightened characters, doesn't he? They're all very kind of comic book. Oh, Zigaya. Building to Paquita's grocery store is on the corner of Rodrigo Rose and Sutherland Road in Wellington, New Zealand. Currently the offices of an interior designer. Okay. I wonder if they're aware of the film. You've been savaged. God, she's awful, isn't she? The question is, at what point in the movie does she turn into a monster? Because she's clearly always a monster, in my opinion. Seems 33% of New Zealand economy revolves around Peter Jackson. Yes, he's done all right for him, hasn't he? Because he's gotten an awful lot of tourism. New Zealand, I would love to visit New Zealand. It looks stunningly beautiful. I think I've got some friends of the family in New Zealand, if I remember right. Definitely got some in Australia. It's just a quick paddle over there, isn't it? I mean, you can just jump in a canoe and cross the water. It's a little bit far away. The scene was filmed at Wellington Zoo. Ah, okay. Lionel's mum was also one of those prudes, as if she wasn't unlikable enough. Yeah, she's incredibly, horribly controlling, isn't she? She's a wonderfully charming actress. Yeah, she's got that kind of like puppy dog kind of enthusiasm, but it's quite infectious, much like the bite. Come on, Lionel, grow a pair. No, seriously, if you've got a lass like this throwing herself at you, you don't go, oh God, but Mum. It's me, Mum. Paquita's character is so cute. She is. She's very kind of adorable. And funny when she needs to be as well. I'd have to check to see what other stuff this actress has actually been in. Uh oh, Mummy's changing. Cool little montage, this. Not sure if debauch is actually a bad card. I know to reach third base or something. I don't play baseball. Nice. Is it getting icky? Good to IMD, just one other film, 2 TV shows. I thought it should have been in a bit more, really, but there you go. Mind you, you know, obviously a lot of these actors are kind of local to New Zealand and probably didn't get out that far. But you know what Hollywood can be like. You know what Hollywood can be like at the moment, Jesus Christ. Yeah, one of the worst things I heard was one of the executives saying we'll just draw this whole kind of writer's strike thing out until people start losing their homes. He actually kind of said that. You look at that, you go, the studio system needs to just die. Absolutely inhuman, complete monsters. She was in a lot of TV. Oh, that's good. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. Oh. No. It's just wonderfully icky, isn't it? Just sticking the thing back on with like paper glue. Apparently one of the reasons for filming in Wellington, as it's the only town that still has working trams, so it looked 1950s. Oh, okay. You know what? I'd never really kind of considered the period that this film is supposed to be. It seems almost incidental, but yeah. Such a deadpan delivery, which makes it so funny. Yes. She does a fantastic, as an actress, she does a fantastic job, doesn't she? Another war, you know, it always sorts of problems out, don't it? I always think of custard as being kind of like a dessert condiment, if you like. Oh, that's grim. Deadpan is something that French and Italian comedies don't understand. Well, they're very animated languages, aren't they? Oh no. for anyone who's not like kind of a lover of gore and all that, so even for someone who's a lover of gore, this film has moments in it which are still a bit like it is wonderfully gross. Would ingesting zombie blood turn you into one, I wonder? I don't know. Depends on the movie. It's a hell of a chat up line. It's like a Cronenberg carry-on. Yeah, it can be. Yeah, I guess. So, oh my god. Can you imagine us getting a 15? I mean, it's not the thing about it. I mean, the film doesn't have, a bad bone in its body. Really, it's not. It's not mean. It's not even particularly vicious. It's just like absolutely over the top and silly. Yep, you keep telling yourself that, Kerry. And the footprints are gone. My god. Continuity. I spotted continuity error. They had to clean the place up before Nurse McTavish turns up. I know. I don't doubt you, Kieran. There are certain criteria where you could probably fit it into that, but yeah, it's always going to be safer under an 18, isn't it? And involve a lot less interference. it's definitely not Salo, that's for sure. That's a hard film to sit through. As much respect as I have for it, it's not an everyday film, is it? But I should watch it. I'll have to watch it again some point soon. Especially that Paquita, she really cares about you. It's odd that I'm watching this and it's like this is not a complaint about the version. It's just it's obviously got bits and pieces sort of put back into it. So I kind of wondering what's going on there. Whether there's only a US Blu-ray or something, and they got the other bits from the UK DVD or something. It's been surprisingly tricky to get hold of sometimes. I just love the absurdity of this scene. The green one, yeah. Carry on, Mum. Cinema Snob does a hilarious review of Salo, which he spends most of it throwing up toilet chairs. It's kind of funny. Cinema snob can be a little bit prudish about certain movies. Um, and I don't know how much of that is a character. I think the character's closer in some respects to his opinions than he might want to admit to. But yeah. I love the imagination that went into the zombies in this. They've generally got some unique feature about them, much in the same way like many of the ones in George Romero's films would have. They would have a unique feature to certain zombies, but they don't just sort of give them these sort of traits and like the flapping head and stuff like that. They don't give them these traits and then forget about it. It's a continual joke throughout their time on screen. One of my favourite snob episodes is the Cannibal Holocaust. I wonder who the real critics are. Yes. See, Cannibal Holocaust and Salo, both films I very greatly respect, and a challenge to be able to kind of break them down. I really enjoyed doing the analysis of Salo, but took a lot of work to do. Spanish title of the film was "Your Mother Ate My Dog." Is that true? Okay, that's kind of fun. Is that Radio 4? Yes, it was. The Archers. Well, a kind of pastiche of The Archers. I used to drive around the country, like building stages and stuff like that. And when I was with my boss, one of my bosses, he would always insist on listening to The Archers. I always thought it was very odd because I always expected people who listen to The Archers to be over the age of 60 at minimum, and I think he was in his late 30s. I love this character, it's so bizarre. It's like they transplanted a scene from something like Delicatessen into this movie, with this particular scene. I love that this is a zombie movie where he tries to keep the zombies inside and not out. That's a very good point. So I'm assuming that the higher quality sections of this particular video are the US version. Then all these other bits are the UK version. Which means that the US version is absolutely hammered, isn't it? It's almost an Evil Dead scene, isn't it? This Ash going into the basement. Being New Zealand, obviously, it's cricket. Cricket is his defensive thing. Brian says, I always remember an episode of Porridge where Fletcher has to see fearsome villain Grouty. Grouty has headphones on. When he takes them off, the Archers theme blares out. It's been a long time since I've seen any of Porridge. The US version lacks a few zombie kills, including a pair of substantial ones. the nose or not at all. Where was he hiding when he got that memory? Does it involve corrupted custard? The watery tart's back. Porridge is, as the young folks say, the shit. It's definitely a comedy classic. You want to keep her in the basement for a few years. I mean, at the hospital. See, even in death, she's been a pain in the ass. Up the nose again. It is wonderfully ludicrous, isn't it? Everything about this film. But it just sort of grounds itself just enough so it doesn't get you know, beyond the pale. Dark Forces, does that involve an Xbox? Probably not. You got Father Ted here as well, which is kind of fun. Is that what you call a morning dress? Oh, God. Oh, this character is so grotesque. Yeah, it says one of my all-time favourite movie characters up there with Trash Man from Battle Rats. Well, I told her. I love the New Zealand accent. Father, I kick ass for the Lord. Peter Jackson himself. If only more priests had that motto, the pews would be packed every Sunday. Yes. Peter Jackson cameo. Yep. Yep. Derek's resurrected. Oh, God. Such a grotesque character. Amazing practical effects. Yeah. I just everything is just blown up to 14, isn't it? It's like everything's kind of crazy. It's larger in life. It's all comic book, and it's there's moments like that which are the lighting is even so kind of excessive. God. I say it could be Derek from before Bad Taste. It could, couldn't it? I wonder if, like in Peter Jackson's mind, that's who it was. I love his sermon, so it's funny. Uncle Les is the typical Anglophone. Doesn't understand any other language besides English, yes. He also doesn't strike me as the kind of person that would ever take no for an answer. Sending Mother off his own way. Resurrected. I think that's the same graveyard as they had in The Frighteners, isn't it? If you haven't seen The Frighteners, watch it. It's really good. Michael J. Fox. Not if Uncle Les has anything to do with it, he won't. Why? Why are you digging her up, you psychopath? It is like if Psycho was just kind of went a bit too far, isn't it? Whole dead mother in the house, huh? See, I get the because it's got that kind of quality thing sort of going on again, and it tends to be kind of around where they're using some very local dialogue, shall we say? I love this scene. Needs to bring her home so she doesn't go on a rampage through town. Bit of a Fulci moment. She'll live forevermore on the headstone. He needs to bring her back home. Oh yeah, I read that bit. It's a little confusing because the chat on the screen is happening at a different rate to chat on other places. It's all over the places YouTube today. Yeah. It divils amongst us. There it is. There's the line. I mean, from the first time I saw this, that was the one line that, in particular, sprung to mind with this film. There's a fair bit of Braindead that reminds me of Fulci. Yeah, but with much more of a sense of humour. I know that Fulci didn't have a sense of humour, but it's a lot drier, shall we say. Hands like that. It would be fun, kind of fun to have his backstory, wouldn't it? Where the hell do you get a big jar of tranquilizer like that? Shame they couldn't get Dermot Morgan to play the karate priest. It was a little bit before Father Ted, wasn't it? But it would have been fun if Father Ted was actually an expert in kung fu. Someone lent me Braindead: A Bad Taste on VHS back in '96. Watched them as a double bill on Halloween night. Oh, it's definitely a good memory. the big one for me, double bill, was the one I've described before, and that was a double bill Video Nasties. First Video Nasties ever watched, and it was I Spurt on Your Grave and Cannibal Apocalypse. That was an evening. Quite an education. In your head canon, all Catholic priests shouting. Oh, is that right, Kerry? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I'll have to see if I can find any of that. If you know where any of that is, then let me know. Ramblog's crowdfunding Peter Jackson to start Priest's backstory. Yes. It's so unpleasant. Oh, Peter Jackson, even with the framing of this shot, is just making you loathe this character. Oh, he's so repellent. And the actor is absolutely relishing every line of just making his character as utterly detestable as possible. I do wonder quite how much of the some of the lingo, some of the slang that the American audience would understand, like stag movies. Stag movies, something that Americans would understand. Uncle Les was hilariously repugnant, yeah, gloriously so. I mean, he is like the human embodiment of all the kind of nasty special effects that are in this movie, isn't he? Bloody Catholic priest at it again. Peter Jackson does have a wonderful kind of feel for comedy and comic timing. Why are you carrying a whopping great big bottle of tranquilizer that could actually send the entire country to sleep? Well, they redubbed Mad Max with American accents such as say something about audiences across the pond. I don't think I've ever seen the dubbed version or any examples of the dubbed version of Mad Max. Funny in the head. They showed Braindead along with clips of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre up the Cornhouse in the early 90s, part of the horror debate. Kim Newman was there amongst others. Really? Oh, that would have been interesting. I mean, it's not to say that this film couldn't be offensive to people, because I think it is designed to sort of provoke a reaction, but how anyone could take this film seriously enough to think it was in the slightest bit damaging is just beyond the pale. Exactly, little bastard. It's an option on the original DVD. Really? Okay. It's gone mental. Yeah, it's gone mental. I have got Mad Max on DVD, so I'll have to see if it's on that version. But that'd be kind of entertaining. It's Daddy's little monster. He's quite a physical comedian, isn't he? We've got something of the Frank Spencer about him. Original UK VHS of Mad Max was the dubbed US version, but the later widescreen VHS was the original Australian dialogue. Ah, okay. I love the barbed wire across the run. I totally forgot about that. Uh-oh, Battleship Potemkin moment. He's absolutely bonkers as film. Reshowing both Mad Max and Mad Max 2 back at cinemas later this year. Love to see him on the big screen. Scene with the zombie baby snagging its cord on a nail was cut from the US version. Yeah, I could sort of understand that for the US market. It can be a bit weird when it comes to just babies in general, can't they? I suppose it was supposed to be acceptable back then, those days. Got to show the child a little bit of discipline, haven't you? Senior part was an additional scene filmed after they'd supposedly finished. He had to earn some money, had some money left over, and decided to do some extra stuff. That was fair play. Did a great. I mean, it is a very superfluous scene, isn't it? But my God, it's well done and it's very fun. Hitting people with swings needs to be reintroduced. We're going to find out in a minute, aren't we? It must have been very different times in that they just sort of go out and buy a massive bucket full of tranquilizer. There is nothing but satisfaction sort of coming up ahead, isn't it, when you got these bastards around throwing students across the room, smashing their fingers with rulers. Good old days, right? Yes. Well, the physical and mental abuse never did me any harm. Braindead's a weird case where it hits its third act. Is about 40 minutes long. Yes. Oh, thank you, Kerry. Okay, still talking about fucking sports. I can't really complain, can I? Because I get a bit boring about my astrophotography. I'm just nerdy. Well, Adam, if I remember, I'll try and put it put it on Facebook, put a link to it on Facebook or something like that. If Kerry's all right with that. Oh, different tranquilizer. Oh no, the tips gone flying. It really does shift in some respects, doesn't it? This movie from when it starts, because you get these little sort of bits like this, which is a sort of creep show type lighting. And the primary colours are very kind of comic book sort of stuff. It becomes more and more and more like this as the film goes along. Oh, thank you very much, Adam. He's forked now. Is there a bit missing where the guy who opened the door to them loses his rib cage? I don't know if that's later or not, to be honest with you. I don't think there's a good release of this at the moment, is there? But was this and something else as well? Just trying to find kind of like decent versions of some films at the moment. It's very, very difficult. Oh, that was it. Body Snatchers, because you can only get this DVD version. It's like one of those really kind of shitty double-sided ones. She seems as pleasant as she was when she was alive. It just gets more and more repellent as he goes along, doesn't he? It's like, God damn it, I mixed up the poison with the mutagen. How is it even possible to make this scene even the slightest bit kind of like, oh? Peter Jackson's really good at doing this kind of stuff, though. Ooh, Les is a little bit rapey tonight. Not nice. And now it turns into an anime. Right back. Oh. Oh. That would be the thing you were thinking about. Let the carnage begin. And this entire sequence is Peter Jackson going, how many ways can we kill people? It's like Dawn of the Dead when George Romero apparently went up to Tom Savini and says, right, start thinking of ways to kill people. Everything Lionel does in this movie just makes things worse. He's not entirely a winner, is he? Yeah, you're quite right, Simon. It is definitely brilliant. I just love this. Yanks that guy's complete face and head, scalp off. Just comes off like a bloody mask. What an amazing shot. It's an incredible bit of editing there, where she's like, and then suddenly the hand comes through. It's like, now we've sort of gone into Day of the Dead, haven't we? Well, cross with Dawn of the Dead's finale. The scene with the guy split in two was cut from the. Just being weird. Was cut from the US version. Oh my god, these bloody notifications. It's the only flesh-eating scene of the movie, yes. It does really sort of get those kind of moments where some of the characters you do get to sympathise with. It just switches it on a dime like that. He has a talent for that. Oh god. Oh, was he the inspiration for one of those characters on the Jurassic Park movie? You know, the one that collected teeth from the dinosaurs. Oh. Uncle Les is surprisingly resourceful. Yes, he is. Biker guy is surprisingly persistent. It really is like they just kind of went, oh, sod it, just absolutely going to go completely and utterly crazy here. It's just think of absolutely every way that you can kill one of these zombies, and we'll go for it. Yeah. But you can imagine what it was like in the writing process for this. Just them sort of like going, yeah, we're just going to do absolutely everything we can possibly do. Huh? It's a little bit of a Thing reference. I love the fact that it farts as well. It's like an extension of the whole kind of thing where you get those zombie films where you chop them up and that's supposed to sort of deal with them, but then it doesn't. And the bits come after you. It's Void's turned into one of the freaks from Freaks. Yes. Because he's a rotten little bastard, this Selwyn. Yeah, mate, a little shit. No, no, no. Does she kick ass a lot too? I hope so. Meanwhile, discovering your family history. Nice. That one photo. Oh, and which one? The one with the big sausage or the one where he's on top of her? Well, the monster's got guts. I'm just trying to imagine the creative process that went into actually sort of putting this entire sequence together. It must have been insane and a lot of fun. I wish I was saying more, but I'm just so engrossed by this. You have to give Les his due, though, don't you? Because he's like, but he seems to be pretty effective at what he does. Some very dangerous penetration. I mean, they must have literally just sat there and gone, anything. What do you want to do? Oh, yeah, I want to put this guy for a mangle. I want this guy to sort of like be chased by the intestines of somebody else. Uh-oh. US version completely lacks the nurse and kick-ass for the Lord Death. Really? I wonder why that was. Seems really weird that the US would be so heavily cut. Version would be so heavily cut. And there's a few bits here you can understand from, from the Americans, particularly kind of like the things involving Little Selwyn, as comic as it is, especially when it's a fetusy type thing, could be a little bit dodgy for an American audience, but yeah. Simon shagging whilst being impaled was cut from the US version too. That doesn't surprise me an awful lot. That's one of the ones I would more expect them to cut because, Americans can be a bit prudish. But the MPAA can, if you know what I mean. Josh Hadley and I were discussing it on one of the Radiodromes or Lost in the Static, I can't remember which. That US audience, you can have all sorts of mayhem, bloody murder, all that kind of stuff, but when it comes to sex, that's it. It's like that's beyond the pale. I remember the first time I saw this. This is one of the scenes, particularly this bit with the lawnmower, is the bit that sort of grossed me out, and I think it's because it's such a like kind of inevitable and slow thing. It just takes its time. It just it's gross. It's going to take a little bit of cleaning up, isn't it? I mean, there is something about the blood and guts in this. It's just it's just utterly gooey. That's the weird thing about it. I mean, even in a way that exceeds something like Dawn of the Dead. Pretty effective blender, that. Scene where they were beating the zombies back with those legs is also missing from the US unrated version. From the unrated version. Now, that's where you'd expect the fuller version to be, wouldn't it? I wonder if they have the fullest version over there, or have had a full US release. I think it's the sound design as well in this particular scene, which is grim. Because it's a really wet and gooey kind of slicing sound, isn't it? So all I can say is it's a good job it's not an electric lawnmower. It must have been horrible to film. Yay, Paquita. She's a great character. And very well played. I love that she gets a moment. The end bloodbath was one of the bloodiest in film history in terms of gallons of blood used. I can well believe it. So, I was never really that kind of prudish about any of that stuff. I remember the first time I watched it, it made me feel a bit queasy. There's something just about it. It's just a bit like oh man, this is so gross. In a fun way. It didn't stop me watching it. I almost miss having that kind of reaction to a film. Sounds good. What a magnificent bloody effect. For all the silliness that is in this film, there are some magnificent bits of special effects and editing and all that kind of stuff. It's so easy to kind of dismiss this film as being, very, very silly, because it is. But the technical ability that's gone into this film is just incredible. And the enthusiasm. Because this film, if nothing else, just absolutely just explodes with enthusiasm. This finale is sponsored by Qualcomm. They're pumping blood at 5 gallons per second. Oh my god. It's like if Pink Floyd had a bad trip, isn't it? Oh my god. Anybody get the impression that the intestines just wanted to be loved? I'm not sure I can feel too much empathy for a pile of viscera. How bad now? Somehow she was always that age. Awesome effects in the whole film, but Vera's end is my fave. End form is my fave. Yeah, it does look like something out of a kind of like a Pink Floyd nightmare, doesn't it? Bit of animatronics going on. I think it's a good demonstration of the fact that effects don't need to look, real. Sometimes it's just the kind of like the nature of physical effects has a quality of its own. Certainly, I kind of feel that way. It's really fucking gross as well. Shows the relationship between the mother and Lionel. I'm reborn. Wonder if the elderly actress who played Mum watched this and completely blew her mind. I'm pretty sure she knew what she was in for. I like to think that she was actually a really, really, really lovely person. It's quite often the case that when you get these really nasty sort of characters, they're generally played by they're often played by just very, very nice people. Sometimes it's quite a nice thing for the fun thing is to play the bad guy, because you can be the nicest person in the world, but the bad guys are always the interesting ones to play. And playing Lionel in this is relatively probably a boring thing in comparison to playing like Uncle Les. That's a character you can really just like go to town with, isn't it? Yeah, I'm born again. Should have done this as a double bill with Bad Taste, shouldn't we? Oh, now you got some chance for a little bit of Paquita love. So now I can live dangerously. It's very unhygienic. You think they'd want to wash up first, wouldn't you? At least get a little bit of the viscera off of you. You know, I didn't remember this music at the end of it, but there you go. So, well, that was a lot of fun. That was a hell of a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to watch that again. So yeah, I was thinking of double bill myself, totally different to this, but one nonetheless. Not sure if anyone would like my idea there. Well, you're free to propose it on the Rambleholics page, by all means, on Facebook. Anyone who's not on that, Rambleholics is on my Facebook page. You I'll invite you as a friend, whatever. You send a friend request. I accept you, and then if you want to get onto the Rambleholics page, I'll send you an invite. But yeah, so you can do it that way. It's usually the best place to sort of do that kind of stuff because it's a little bit more centralised, and obviously I ain't going to sit through however many hours it is of stream to kind of pick up on those sorts of things. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to do this. Okay, so remember what stream? So they're going to prison, right? Yes, so got a lot of explaining to do, haven't they? They've absolutely got a lot of explaining. Oh dear. Anyway, we shall call it a night there. So I will say thank you very much. Might be doing one next week. Not quite sure. Hopefully. But we'll have a look and see what we can find. In the Mouth of Madness, obviously, again, if there's anyone in the US who can sort of check to see whether or not this is blocked, that would be great, because we do occasionally obviously get a few US viewers. That would be nice if they could join in. But other than that, I shall say good night for now, and have a lovely weekend. Enjoy yourselves. And hopefully I'll get those clear skies tomorrow night so I can bore you with some more photos. And thank you for those who actually enjoy them. But yeah, so take care, folks, and have a lovely weekend. I will see you soon. Bye for now.